And welcome back to Open Studio. Holy crap, this is a special Open Studio because normally I pre-record a bunch of these in a row, so I'm all relaxed. But things have gotten a little bit crazy, so I'm literally recording this one right before it's going to go live. So this is interesting. So usually when I'm doing these, I'm like, oh, hope your week is going good. And I can't really tell you what's going on here because I've recorded them in the past, but today is the day. So everything's really cool. There's a lot going on here. We're having a lot of fun. So yeah, it's fun. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep moving on with these buildings. I want to get this brown building in here first. This like kind of brick colored building, I think. Just kind of north of this. And what we're doing is I'm just going to kind of sneak back across this thing to the right. And I think that's going to be the good way to go. So this gray or dark area right here is part of the building next to it. We're looking at this one. I'm sorry. Just take me a minute to get caught up here. So those actually are windows. Interesting. And that's a gray building right here. So maybe I'll put in this gray building first. That might be good. Yeah. So how is your week going? This is my week. This is crazy. It's crazy. I know I was actually thinking about canceling this Open Studio. Not canceling, but just pushing it up a week because things have been so nuts. And I like I said, usually I have these things in the bank. But no, I didn't have it this time. So I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? So here I am. Okay, yeah, so this is the building right here, the gray. We're going to do the gray building first, and then that leads out to this brick colored building right here. And it's the same, rinse and repeat here. I'm just going to pick a building, kind of block it in, get it settled, and then it'll allow me to paint the rest of the details and everything where it should be, basically. I don't think there's anything else around this thing that could be done in this gray, but we'll take a look. Did I cut that out so you can't see it? Of course I did. No, I didn't. It's right there. Yay. Trying to be better with that too, because I get so into like just working. I'm not paying attention to the big camera. And again, the area that you guys are seeing, I'll do this gray building above too. Does it have a gray side on it? Yeah, it's light gray. It's dark gray on the face, which is odd, but I'm going to go with it. Yeah, the area you guys see is super, super close up. It's really, really tiny. So I keep forgetting that, as I back up here, I can see the whole thing, all 2.5 glorious inches of it. But you guys can't because, where's my little ruler? Your field of vision on this right now is what, 3/4 of an inch? There's 3/4 right there. So that's really all you guys can see because the reference photo is up there in the left-hand corner. So 3/4 of an inch is all you guys get. So I got to make sure that I'm putting this stuff right in the zone that you can see it. The go zone. All right, what else is going to work? It's kind of a dark gray. I think that's all I can really get out of here without getting too crazy. Did I already get that building? There's the building with the shades. Oh, that's that building. So right above that. Great. That's this one. Yeah, I'm going to do this one too. This one right here. That one. Just because I'll have, like a darker gray in the brush. And again, it's all about setting up these landmarks so that then I can move on and kind of put the details in and get them in the right way, really. Again, this is timely. I like this. So I got to spend some close-up time with the Allied Artists of America show, which is running right now. Their 111th show is actually online. You can check it out online at I keep saying Area Artists, sorry, at Allied Artists of America. They're out of New York. And just a fantastic group, very hard to get into, very prestigious, and they have a yearly show. So part of the part of the show is actually at the Butler Institute of American Art here in Ohio. So I've been able to really get a close-up look on all the stuff, and it's really, really like, really, again, I love seeing other people's art because it changes my perspective on my own. Like you get to a point where you're, oh, hey, that came out great. That worked out well. And I feel like I really did that, really the best I could. And then you see someone else who does that same technique, but over the top good. And then I'm like, oh, I have so much work to do. And I love that feeling. That's the inspiration. Like my good friend Keith Hansen says, artwork, when you're looking at it from a growth perspective, artwork should either make you inspired to get better or to quit. So if you are the type that decides, oh, I can't do this, and you quit, well, then that's what's going to happen. But if it's like you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure out how they did that. I gotta get that tool in my toolbox. Oh, it's such a good feeling, especially when you get your art to that point. You see a technique that's amazing, you incorporate it into your stuff, and all of a sudden your work is a little bit more amazing. I love that. So yeah, Allied is great because they have a bunch of, it isn't just one discipline. So it's not just like oil paint or watercolor or, whatever. It's everything. And so, you see people doing work with pastels that they shouldn't be doing. Like it's a pastel painting that looks like an oil painting or looks like watercolor. And you're like, wait a minute, this is pastel. How does this look like watercolor? It's just so much fun. All right, so for this, I've got the base gray already on here. So if I can move this a little bit so I can see the whole thing. There we go. I've got the base coat gray. Did I move that? Let me make sure I didn't move that. So I can just use a really thin black, to just darken that a little bit, which is really nice. I think that's still lined up, but I honestly don't want to take a chance because I think I bumped it. Yeah, oh gosh, did I ever bump it? Oh, that would have been terrible. That would have been horrible. I would have been like totally in the wrong spot. Here we go. Yep, that's that one. There you go, Steve. So yeah, so that's my soapbox for today. It's like when you see someone's artwork, it's such a great leveling feature. Like it's such a nice way to like snap yourself out of contentment if you're doing something right, this, and it shows that you can just do it better. Or if you're struggling with something and you see someone who pulls something off that's in line with what you're doing, but amazingly, high success. It encourages you to say, hey, all right, this can be done. So both ways, it's a great thing. So again, if you get a chance, go look at the online show because all the pieces are on their website in the 111th annual. And if you are anywhere near Youngstown, Ohio, you can go to see there's a fraction of the work there. Not all of the show is there, but a big part of it is there. So, all right, I think that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. That's lovely. So there they are. They're locked in. Try to keep track of the time tonight too. So, because again, I have to turn around and edit this all before 8 o'clock so that you guys can hang out with me again and watch it. Hopefully I'll be able to get ahead of things and get back to normal. All right, so this gray building here has got a bunch of long rectangular. These have a lot of long rectangular windows. All right. I'm not sure that spraying that gray was the right choice. Are you guys focused? I did get the bars for the Visionaire, so now when I touch it, it does bounce a little bit, but it straightens out much faster now. It's not wobbly all over the place. So that was a good thing. Oh yeah, I got palette cam on. Okay, got black here. Yes, and I did change out the parchment on the palette. So yeah, I think I'm going to run across this like I do, and then draw the mullions in. Let's see what this looks like. Probably could be a little bit thicker. How's that? Yeah, maybe. This paint is a little wonky, but not bad. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time at the Butler, meeting a lot of great people. Just a fantastic museum. They focus on American art. However, they are open to all kinds of things. They just had a swap where they swapped with Dayton Museum of Art. Dayton Museum of Art has a Monet. So for the summer, the Monet went to the Butler, and the Hopper painting that the Butler has went down to Dayton. So it was kind of like a $1 zillion art swap for the summer, which was cool. So you got to see got to see a Monet, which you normally wouldn't see in the Butler because it's focuses more on American artists, and of course Claude Monet was not American, but influenced. Claude Monet was the Impressionist painter, and influenced so many artists, including a bunch of American artists. So the Butler does have a great Impressionist collection, and they have it up in one of the galleries. And the Monet was proudly in there with that because Claude had influenced so many artists in that room. All right. And unlike the other buildings, I'm not counting the windows on this. I mean, yeah, it would be amazing if I had exactly the right number of windows. But if you're gonna count the floors, you're better than I am. I will freely admit that. All right, so this row bank of windows came out a little bit too fat right there. I'm going to fix that first. Now this is the fun part. So I airbrushed that gray originally, just at the beginning of the episode. So now I have to mix that same gray, which is weird because what that is just super thin black. But I got to make an opaque gray that matches that. This is going to be too light, but it might work. That will allow me to fix that little bank of windows and this bank too. This one got a little chunky. Little chunker. So let's straighten that out, and I feel good about that. Yeah, it is light. So we'll add a little bit more black to it. That's too much black. Some more white. That's too much white. Let's go back and forth for an hour. There we go. That's good right there. All right. Now I can add the rest of the vertical mullions, the divisions between the rooms. Is that right? Yeah, it feels right. Okay. Start with this one here, right on the edge. And this way I can also test it. See, this is a little bit dark, but I'll use it on the edges because it'll work for the edges. Just kind of shore up those edges. And then I'll take a little bit of white, lighten this up a little bit. Lovely. All right, so I am going to get the correct number of windows. There are three divisions between. So that means the building is first off divided in half, which is easy to do. Because while someone may not count the individual floors to see if I'm right, you can see if I have the number of windows horizontally pretty easily. Again, someone gets a prize if they're calling me out on, something as small as this. And then from there, all I have to do is divide these windows in half, and that'll give me all three. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely. There we go. Good. All right, so that's that one. This building here is very white or light. Really what we set out to start with was the reddish building right here. That's what I started looking at. Yeah, if I do that, then that will set up the light building that's right here. So I think that's what we'll do next. So let's mix up a gray, a brick color. Did I already cut that? I think I cut that out. The brick color? Did I spray the brick color red? No, that's the brick colored building right there. Okay, good. Trust me, this is par for the course. It's like, I end up cutting stuff and like, did I cut that out right? What's this piece? Where does this go? It happens a lot because this ultimately, again, this, if I'm lucky, this painting will read as just the city. You know what I mean? It won't read as individual buildings. It will when someone gets close enough to it and really homes in on it, but that's not what I want. I want people to walk up to this about 12 to 18 inches away and say, holy crap, that's a little tiny painting of Tokyo. And then if they get closer, they can get in on the details and get them. But I don't want the details to scream from far away. I want them to blend as if you were really looking at this, for real. Yeah. The other good thing is usually when I record these, I'm recording them in the morning. It's hard for me to get up to speed in the morning, but it's not. It's afternoon, late afternoon, so I'm rocking. So it's good. All right, so let's cut out the little brick building, and we'll get that. The only thing is my nose is stuffed again, and there's a frog in my throat. So I'll have to deal with that, but that's okay. All right, so where's this little brick building? Right here. Right here. Yep. This one right here. And again, I think we have, well, I don't know if you can see it. So I'm cutting out this building right now. So we have this row of buildings that's pretty much the same, in focus type of thing. But if I go one more block over, see how all of a sudden now these become more like, you can't see individual windows so much. On some of them you can, like this guy. But on a lot of them, they're just like blocks. All these little buildings are just like little different variations in value. So again, once I get by this group of buildings down in here, this area here is going to go a lot faster. So we're putting in our time early in this painting. Once we get through all these details, the rest of it is going to go pretty smooth. And then there's a lot of fun stuff coming too. Like, I'll show you this in a second. One of the things that really is cool about, one, the airbrush, but just this type of painting too. Purposely, these buildings are a little bit more intense value-wise and contrast-wise than they should be. I can't show you a one-for-one color image of that. Even the photocopy doesn't do it justice. But see how the photocopy doesn't have a lot of contrast to it compared to the painting? These darks here are super dark compared to what's going on here. They're kind of like, like a darker gray. The very end of this, when I'm kind of painting in the clouds, because there are clouds and fog that kind of mist out the whole top of this, I'll also do the same thing down here really lightly. And what that does is it lowers the contrast between everything, just like the photograph here, but it also ties everything together. So while this seems very clear and sharp right now, when I add that atmosphere in, it just like locks everything together and just makes it look the way it should. It's a really, really cool effect. Unfortunately, you don't get to see that till the end, but that's okay. All right, so here's our little building right here. And I'll just double check the top to make sure I'm correct on that, and the bottom to make sure I'm correct on that. And yep, there's our little building we just painted. It's my gray. Feeling good. Maybe a little bit lower. Yeah. Oh, that building went a little tall. That's fine too. Okay, I'm feeling good about that. Big old magnet. Now I gotta mix up a brick red. See, I should have done this when I did the other brick red building, but I wasn't really paying attention. But that's okay. That's all right. So we get a little bit of white in here. So a little bit of white. Where are you? There we go. A little bit of white in there. For brick red, I'm going to use Wicked Brown and red. So this is just regular Createx Wicked Brown, and then opaque Pyrrole red. So brown is first, which gives me a skin tone, and then a little bit of red, maybe a little bit of black too. See how pink this is. Yeah, it's a little bit too pink, so I'll add some more red. Yeah, that's better. Because I added more red, add more, a little more brown. And then to lock it down, just a touch of black here. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of a pinkish, brickish color, but this will be perfect. Yeah, this is great. All right. Yep, as of last night, I was like, yep, I'm not going to make it because I ran out of time, and I'm like, there's no way I can get the video done last night and edited and all that fun stuff. And I'm like, wait, you might be able to burn it down tomorrow afternoon and get it done. So if you're watching this tonight, I did it. If you're watching it next week, I did not do it. I have a feeling I'll be able to get it done. And then over the weekend, I'll film a bunch of them, so I'll get caught back up. All right, so here's my, you can see right there, it's kind of a deep rose color. That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah. I don't like the way that the window doesn't line up right there. That's okay. That's all right. We'll figure it out. All right. But it needs to. But it doesn't need to, and I'll show you why. So what do I blacken one of these, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. Because technically that's the mullion coming down here. That's why it isn't in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up taking some black, doing this beforehand instead of after, which is that shading on the bottom of the building that I love to do. And then that solves that problem. And I'll fix the roof on that brick building in a second. In fact, why don't I fix that now? How about that? Okay, a little bit of white. All these roofs are white. Okay, yeah, this one gets cut off this way, comes over this way, and then comes out that way. What else is going on? Oh, the top of this building. Yay, it's all white as well. Okay. So I'm super excited. There was a great question. I think it was Ken Barton asked about framing and all that. That roof there is wrong, but I'll fix it after. I know it's wrong. About framing, and that kind of thing, and how I come up with them. I'm going to have a whole episode on the end of this on how I'm going to frame it. There's some new things going on with framing for these small paintings that I'm excited to try out. Normally I put a wire on the back of all the paintings, regular coated framing wire. But this painting here is going to have it's not a new way to hang paintings, but it's new for me as far as using it, and it's a French cleat, which I'll explain more when I get there. But it's this neat double kind of aluminum bar setup. So you attach one side of this setup onto the wall, nice and level, and then you put the other one on the back of the painting, and then the painting literally just hangs on the rail. And it's fantastic because it's immediately level if you leveled it when you put it on, and it's just a really neat way to do it. So I'm excited about that. And I'll share that with you, obviously, as we go. But I got to get there. So the other big question with this one is all these cityscapes and most of the smaller paintings, I try to key the wood of the frame and the background to the painting. This one I've got some crushed stone from Tokyo, which will definitely be the background of this one. I just have to decide on what kind of wood to use. I gotta find a hardwood from Japan, and because resources are so, you know, so regulated and controlled in Japan, it's you know, it's not always super easy to find different things. So I may just end up with the very sustainable and beautiful. It's white oak from Japan, and it would make a lovely background, a lovely frame for this. Again, white oak is, you know, it's heavy grained, or not heavy grained, but it's wide grained, and that's fine. Um, and it's also, because it's white oak, it's a lighter color wood, which I love leaving the wood the way it is. And I think that'll look good with this. The stone that I have from Tokyo is very light colored as well. And then the painting itself has a real light, airy feel because of the fog too. So I think all that's going to really play together well. I won't know that till I get, you know, close and I can start messing with, you know, putting this stuff together and seeing how it looks. Um, but that's the way I'm angled right now for it. I'm really excited about the French cleat because that's going to really change the way I frame these things, or have them hang. One of the big problems with hanging small works, you know, these paintings, when they're framed, are only about 6 inches by 8 inches. And what happens is, if you're not careful with the way you hang them, they can hang off the wall at the top. So the top pulls away from the wall and the bottom is up against the wall. So that's not a great look. The wire tends to do that, especially on smaller paintings, where the French cleats are going to alleviate that completely, because it will just hang flush, or, you know, flat against the wall, which I'm very excited about. But it's going to take a little bit of engineering to get it to work, because again, the paintings are so small. But I'm excited for it. Did I just paint that whole thing off the camera? I hope I didn't. I'll find out tonight. Jeez, you can yell at me. Go ahead. What I need, which would be amazing, is some sort of laser mount on my camera that has an outline just beyond the camera frame of what the camera's seeing. That's what I need. Someone invent that for me, so that I always know where the edge of the frame is on the freaking canvas. Oh well. If you guys didn't see that, it came out really good. Oh man. I didn't say I was good at this. All right, so I'm just going to clean up the roof a little bit. And I remember this part I said was a little bit wonky. It was a little bit wrong, but that's okay because I can fix it right now. There's like a little ridge at the top of that, and there's some something on the roof, air conditioning units, doors, I don't know, weird stuff. And that's it. This bar right here is pretty dark, like too dark. So we're gonna, no, it isn't too dark because I did it because I knew I was going to do the windows. Oh, good job, past Steve. So I'm going to mix up a lighter gray and I'll put the windows in this now. And there is just a line that goes down the middle of it. It's too thin, but that's okay. I mean, it's too thick. That's also okay, because I'm a fix-it. Oh, when I said too thin, I was correct. The paint was too thin. The line was too thick. Okay. We're getting there. So I'm going to give you guys a few extra minutes here while I finish up this building. But yeah, that worked out good. We got the face of one building done, and just about the entirety of this building done. Oh, I've screwed that up. Maybe I won't get it done. Oy. You won't see that in the end. So grab some black. Now I can put the windows in. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. This one. All right, I'm gonna get this up. This is gonna go live. It will be the premiere tonight, which is exciting because I didn't think I could pull it off. I don't ever want to do this again. I want to have them in the bank so I can just, jump on with you guys and chill. I like it though. That still needs a little bit of airbrushing on it, but well, I'll do it now since I got it in the brush. Just a little, again, same thing, a little bit of grounding on it. But that works. All right, so here is the complete look of this painting. This is what it looks like so far. Got a few more buildings in, which I love. Thank you all for jumping in tonight. Remember, hit that like button for me. It really helps the algorithm and helps the channel to grow. And to anyone who's been throwing thanks, the super thanks, we actually donate a little bit on these videos. I can't thank you enough. That's amazing. That directly helps out keeping everything going. So thank you so much. And that obviously goes true to these people as well. These guys and girls are members over here on YouTube, which they get early access to Time Lapse Tuesday, and then the Patreon members, which I'm working on adding some special features for Patreon as well. And I can't thank you guys enough. All right. So for Steve Leahy and Through Lachlan's Eyes, I will catch you all next week. Thanks a lot, guys.